What up, Kings? Hope you're well. The Programmatic King here. In this video, I want to focus on why I believe household income is not a great indicator of a good target audience. But first, let me tell you a quick story. I travel a lot nowadays, so I'm fortunate enough to live anywhere I want now. Most of the ways that I make money is all online, with a few exceptions. In my travels, I meet a whole bunch of weird, strange people. And these weird, strange people, I discovered later on that they are financially free people. I was in New York City a few months ago, and I stayed in a hostel. I made this one mistake. I stayed in a hotel, and I hated it. Because there was a time where I had to stay in New York City for 2 nights. So I figured, you know what, I need some privacy and some sleep. So let me find a hotel somewhere in Harlem, because I used to live in Harlem. So I stayed at the A-Loft. Big mistake. I think the value was not there at the A-Loft, so I was a little pissed off. Listen, I spent $400 for one night, and that's too much money. And I didn't get the value for $400. Because $400 can take me so far in like Zanzibar or Thailand or Bali, you know? So for me to pay $400, including tax, to stay in an A-Loft, it was like Motel 6 quality. I wasn't happy about that. So this time around, I stayed at a hostel off of Central Park West. It's a hostel that a lot of international students go to stay, or when they come into New York City for either New Year's Eve, to watch the ball drop, or during the summertime. So there's a lot of European. Here's what I discovered. There's a whole bunch of European guys that are making a ton of money over there in Europe. And then they got no families, and they got nothing else to spend their money on but traveling. So what they do is they come to New York City, stay in a hostel, even though they have a lot of money, by the way. And then they just live on the cheap, eat good, and just enjoy the sights and scenes of New York City. They're kind of living a simple life of luxury. Because that's something that I do know and understand about human beings, which is, for the men, we're not big spenders like that. Even in my own household, even though I make all the money, I don't spend that much. 80% of purchasing decisions in my home are done by my wife. That's 80% of my income is already decided for by my wife. And then the other 20% is for me to buy whatever I want, whatever stupid dumb stuff that I buy and travel. I've noticed this behavior with us guys. So when I was staying in this hostel, I would bump into a lot of guys that have money. And it would shock me because if they're worth like $500,000 or $1 million, they should be staying at the Plaza Hotel because they can afford it, right? But no, that's not the case. When I stayed at A-Loft for $400, I was very lonely over there. I had nobody to hang out with. I had nobody to talk to. And I'm already by myself most of the time anyway. If I'm not with my family, I'm always working, so I'm always alone. So that's not healthy. Sometimes you want to be around people. When I was staying at this hostel, I stayed there for 3 nights. I was in the common area, the common kitchen area. I was minding my own business, eating my food. I got some really good Ghanaian food from the Bronx, really delicious. I was minding my own business in the kitchen. So there was this Asian guy that came to sit next to me. He started off kind of far, and he came a little close. I think my food was so stinky. I don't know if you've ever eaten Ghanaian food, but Ghanaian food has got a very different smell. You'll know, okay, this is different. This Asian guy was fascinated. Eventually he asked me, he's like, hey man, where did you get that food from? I said, yeah, I got it in the Bronx, some Ghanaian food. He's like, oh, really, in the Bronx, huh? You like it? It smells good. I said, yeah, I like it, but it's kind of greasy, and I really shouldn't be eating this. It's not good for my health. But it's so delicious, though. It's so good. Eventually, the conversation led to what he was doing in New York and some of the cool things that he's seen. I discovered that. See, this is a weird thing. People open up to me. I don't know why. He told me how he used to work on Wall Street years ago. And the guy looked like he was in maybe late 40s, almost 50 there. And he was telling me he's never been married, he's got no kids, and he's got $500,000 in crypto. And I was kind of embarrassed because I'm not really into crypto. I really should be investing more in crypto, to be honest. But I was embarrassed how he told me he's got $500,000 in crypto, and I didn't even have anything close to $500,000 in crypto yet. So I need to step up. So I was wondering, okay, why is this guy, he's definitely worth at least $1 million or more. If he's got $500,000 in crypto, he's got more bread than that. Why is he staying in a hostel? Then I remembered, guys prefer the simple life of luxury, because that's what I was doing. Even though I could afford to stay in a fancy hotel, I preferred the hostel because there was action. It was dope. There were activities to do. You can go to do things like bar hopping, but I don't do bar hopping. I'd rather be working. And I remember, guys like the simple life. A lot of guys out here are actually minimalists, especially the guys that got a lot of money. You would never know they got money. The guy wasn't even dressed like he had money. You couldn't even tell. And I remember when I was chatting with him, there were a bunch of people around, a bunch of young girls, wondering, okay, this guy's weird. Nobody was really paying attention to him like that because he was kind of weird, awkward, nerdy. He had a lot of money. And I learned a lot of stuff from this guy because he's kind of like borderline autistic. Those genius types with poor conversation skills. They are so brilliant. They're so smart. All they focus on is their brilliance and they neglect their social soft skills. That's the guy. So he took out his phone and he showed me this footage that he shot when he was flying into JFK. It was like a clear day. And what he did was he put his phone on the window and he just captured about 12 minutes worth of footage going around the city, capturing the New York City skyline. Just beautiful footage too. And I do a lot of videos. I know how much that footage is worth. He captured Brooklyn, he captured New Jersey, Jersey City. Everything was beautiful, clear day. And then even to the landing, all in one shot. One shot take, 12 minutes. As soon as I saw this footage, I was like, man, please, man, can you sell me this footage? So I started negotiating with this guy. I started saying, hey, man, listen, I'll pay you $50 for this footage. He's like, hell no. I said, okay, I'll pay you $100. He's like, no. What do I look like? We went up to $1,000. I offered him $1,000 for that footage. He said no. And I knew this guy wasn't doing it for the money. But he's got money already. He's not motivated by money. Guys like these are motivated by freedom, ultimate freedom, to go anywhere, to be able to buy anything. Just the freedom of knowing that I can purchase anything is what he gets a high off of. He might get excited about something that he really wants, especially if it's tech related. He's the kind of guys that will spend like maybe $10,000 on a gaming computer, on a gaming PC. People are crazy, man. I used the Honda on a gaming PC. That's the kind of guy he is. All the things that he purchases are intentional. If it's not a collectible, he's not purchasing it. For me, I'm not into new cars like that. In fact, as soon as I see a new car with those fancy buttons and everything, I get overwhelmed. I prefer like the 1965 like Chevy Cadillacs. I prefer like the 6.4s. I prefer like the 1970s Benzes, the old school joints. I prefer those classics because they retain their value. Things that retain value over time is what they purchase. When we're looking at household income, I don't think household income is a good indicator of a good audience anymore for that very reason. There are a lot of people, on paper, they're making a lot of money. Doctors, some lawyers, physicians, MDs, you name it. They're making $500,000, even $1 million a year, but they're living check to check. Meanwhile, this guy, he probably makes less than that. The guy I was hanging out with, the Asian guy, say he makes $50K in passive income or $100K in passive income. That guy's probably got like $90K in disposable income every year. $90K just to play with, just to say, hey man, I can buy whatever I want. But with the doctor, God forbid, if he's married or going through a divorce, oh my God. The divorce rate is over 50% now. And that has really destroyed the validity of household income. Because there's some guys that are making $500,000 living check to check because everybody's in their pockets. The insurance for the business needs to get paid for. He needs to pay for his student loans. His ex-wife is in his pockets for child support and alimony. By the time he's finished paying off all these people, and the IRS, by the time he's finished with these obligations, he's got $20 in his pocket. If he's going through a divorce, that's like negative $500,000. He's already in the negative because a divorce is just enough to just wipe you out. Let's keep it real out here. Let's keep it all the way real. So what I think is a good indicator for a good audience is purchasing behavior. Now, there are different ways you can figure out what their purchasing behavior is for people that actually have disposable income. Because I think with the way the economy is set up now, with the inflation, people don't have money like that. It's only these guys that I meet in the hostel that are in the crypto game that have a lot of disposable income. They don't have a lot of liabilities. Those are the guys that actually have the bread. But it's going to be very difficult to capture those guys. It's going to be very difficult to convince those guys to purchase whatever it is that you're selling. Because they don't trust anybody. They don't trust you like that. They have trust issues. I could tell this guy's been through it. He's been through some stuff. And he doesn't trust anybody like that. This is the kind of guy that puts ad blockers. He deletes all his information with these data collectors. He's like invisible. He probably has like a hideout spot in Bali, and he just comes back to the States, to New York, just to check up on a few people. It's like Revenge of the Nerds out here right now. You guys watch Revenge of the Nerds, the movie? Go watch it. It's exactly what's happening right now. All the nerdy guys that got done dirty by corporate, they're seeking their revenge right now, in mass. Revenge of the Nerds. Just figure out what these nerds who got money now, because those are the guys that got all the money. Just figure out what they're spending their money on. What do they value? It's going to tell you everything you need to know about how to target them, because those are the guys that got all the money. Those are the guys that will blow so much cash on an OF girl. Have you ever seen a story of some nerd that spends like $50K on a OF girl, and you ask yourself, like, what kind of dumb person would do that? There's some nerd out there who's probably worth $10 million. You probably made $10 million in crypto. And he doesn't want you to know that he's made $10 million. $50K to him, to an OF girl, that's like charity, bro. Oh my goodness, the world has changed. I hope you got some value from this video. If you're ready to level up your programmatic ad buys, if you are not running any programmatic campaigns and you're only running search campaigns right now, and you know you need to run some brand awareness campaigns, then give me a call. I'll put a link in the description of this video. Schedule some time. Let's talk about it. I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to show you which DSP to pick, how to get in touch with the people that actually have the money, how to get your ads in front of those people, and most importantly, the type of messaging that will ensure that these people will convert, because they don't trust like that. All right, see you in the next one.